Hi you guys, I'm Dr. Bree and welcome to FemFusion, your home for pelvic floor and core friendly fitness and women's health information. So today I want to revisit a topic that I feel like I haven't really specifically addressed in quite a long time, and that is about incontinence, bladder leakage, and also the feeling of urinary urgency, the feeling like your bladder is the size of an acorn and like you always have to go. If you've ever experienced that, then I want to talk today specifically to you about two things. And the first one is don't jick. So jicking is when you go just in case, jick. And if you find that you are going just in case or you're jicking all the time, then I want you to do some things that are called bladder training. Now, caveat, this is really best done hand in hand, step by step with a women's health physical therapist who can really help guide you through this process. Really look at your muscles, look at your pelvic floor, look at your core, look at how you're using your body, what's going on when you're having your bladder issues. But if you don't have a women's health physical therapist in your area, or if you want to just kind of get started as sort of a first line of defense at home, the bladder training technique and the bladder diary that I'm going to share with you is a really great way to get started. So let's go back to this idea of jicking and really what normal voiding frequency is. So normally people should, I love the word should. I always feel like I have to go should because should is such a word that makes you feel bad if you're not doing what you should be doing. But I'm just going to use it anyway. The normal voiding frequency is about 5 to 7 times per day. And that can vary depending on your activity level, how much water you're drinking, that kind of thing. But just keep in mind that if you're going to the bathroom 20 or 30 times per day, that's definitely out of the normal range. Also, on the other hand, if you're going like 1 time a day or 2 times a day, you're probably not drinking enough water. So that's also something to keep in mind. So one thing that many people find that they do is that they go to the bathroom just in case. So they jick because they're worried that they're going to have a problem. They're worried that when they get out of the house, maybe they go to the store or they're going on a long car ride, they're fearful that they're going to have a bladder issue. And so they go just in case. And the problem with jicking or going just in case before your bladder is actually full is it can make your bladder super, super sensitive. And you'll feel like you really do have to go, like you're gonna burst if you don't go, even though your bladder is not even close to being full. So this can lead to urinary urgency and frequency, and sometimes it can even cause problems such as prolapse because you feel like I've really got to go, but then you sit down on the toilet and you don't actually have to go that much, so you push to make the urine come out, and that can over time lead to prolapse. So it's really a problem. So what I want to do today is help you get over the hump of jicking, to understand that going just in case is something that you want to avoid if you can, and learn how to first tune into your body and say, do I really have to go? And if you can maybe wait it out. We call it riding the wave. See if you can ride that wave that first time around so you're not going just in case, or see if maybe you can go for a short car ride without going just in case beforehand and see if it's okay, because probably it will be, and it's really just a habit that you've gotten into to go just in case. So the idea is to gently push the limits that you think you may have if you find that your urinary frequency is really, really high and that you're always going just in case. The idea is to gently, slowly, progressively over time push those limits just a little bit to get you back toward that normal range of 5 to 7 times per day. Now, one way to really identify and get a visual picture of what you're actually doing as far as how often you're using the bathroom and if you're having a leakage, when those leakages occur, is to record a bladder diary. So from this bladder diary, you can do the bladder training techniques that I just described, which include gently and slowly making your trips to the bathroom less frequent, that kind of thing. That's bladder training. But the bladder diary helps you record what's going on and get a real snapshot of you and your patterns and your habits. So there are definitely free resources you can use to find bladder diaries online. Again, you ultimately would be working with a women's health physical therapist to do this for you. But if you want to kind of do it yourself and create a homemade bladder diary, then I'm going to show you how right now. So what you want to do is just grab a composition book. This is my son's. It's an old notebook, just some kind of notebook, or you can also do it on the computer, which may be easier to actually print it out in like an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. But there's some basic columns that you want to have. So the first, you can just very simply do this. Hopefully you can see. We have columns here that show time, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Each line is an hour of the day. So I'm starting at 6 a.m. and I'm going all the way till 5 a.m. the next day. So it's a 24-hour period. You make another column for fluid, the fluids that you drink. Now, the reason this is important is because you need to know about how much you're taking in. First of all, the amount you're taking in should be approximately the amount that you are eliminating throughout the day. Also, it's going to give you an idea. If you write down the exact types of fluid, it's going to give you an idea if any of the fluids are bladder irritants for you. Now, common bladder irritants include things like coffee, black and green tea, not so much herbal tea, but black and green tea because of the caffeine content, sodas, artificial sweeteners and colors, artificial food dyes, colors like red dye, number, whatever it is. Other things include citrus and alcohol, and you may find that there's something else that's actually unique to you. So it's really important to record the fluid that you're taking in. Now the next column is toilet/time is what I've written down, but you can label it whatever you want. Essentially, what you want to do is record, when you actually do use the bathroom and about how much comes out. So that is really great if you can actually measure the amount that comes out in, for example, one of those, they're called hats in medical terms, the things that you stick in the toilet that actually measure the amount of urine that comes out. You can find them at a drugstore or a pharmacy, or you can use a old Pyrex 2-cup measuring cup or some kind of measuring cup that you can easily put, under your stream of urine and catch it. Or if that's like, oh my gosh, you're going way too far, that's ridiculous, you can simply count out loud the amount of time that it takes you to urinate. So for example, you start your urine stream and you go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. That's the number of seconds you urinate. So maybe you're just going a little tiny bit. You're not even getting to 1 Mississippi and you're done. That probably indicates that you didn't actually need to go. That's really important to record somehow, whether you're actually measuring volume or you're just counting out loud how long it takes you to actually finish your urine stream. Somehow record that in this column here. Then there's an optional column here that if you do have issues with leakage, with bladder incontinence, then you can record when during the day you had a bladder leak and maybe even what activity that was associated with. Was it because you were trying to make it to the bathroom on time? Or was it perhaps because you were running or jumping or sneezing? You can just record that there. Now, again, you can get much more in depth into something like this. Many bladder diaries will look different than this, but this is just a simple option for you to get started with. It can even be as simple as just writing down the times of the day and then writing down when you went to the bathroom. So I'm going to show you an example. This is totally fictional, but just an example of what a filled out bladder diary might look like. And you can see that this fictional person here has gone to the bathroom far more than 5 to 7 times that normal avoiding time. She is finding that after having coffee and soda, she's using the bathroom more frequently. And she's also found that she has some leaks when she is running. So this fictional character here, again, would be very, very helped out by going to see a women's health physical therapist. But she also can do a lot on her own by not going to the bathroom just in case before she goes on a long car trip. She did note in there that a long car trip happened at some point. You can see that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's a little note that she got in the car and that there was a just in case void beforehand. So you can make those correlations there. She can start very, very slowly, very, very progressively and gradually going for short car trips without going to the bathroom beforehand, just gradually pushing herself in that regard. She can start doing a gentle Kegel contraction, so a squeeze and lift of the pelvic floor muscles when she feels the urge to urinate, and maybe she can see if that suppresses the urge. And maybe she can hold off another 30 minutes before actually using the bathroom, because maybe she didn't really have to go. So just gradually spreading out the time between voids, seeing on a future bladder diary, if she does the bladder diary again in the future, seeing if things are getting better, if she's actually voiding for longer, if her urinations are taking, 4 to 5 seconds or 6 to 7 seconds instead of 1 to 2 seconds. That kind of thing. Seeing if she's doing maybe 7 to 8 voids a day instead of, 15 to 20. So it's just a matter of very slowly, gradually increasing that over time and gaining more self-awareness of what's going on. It's a great way to record habits, see patterns, and then to work on bladder training on your own, or better yet, with the help of a women's health physical therapist. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope it makes sense, and I hope it's given you some inspiration to get to know your body and your patterns a little bit better by doing your own bladder diary if this is an issue for you. And remember, don't jick. You can find other toilet tips in the information button video. You'll see a little information button. I will also post the video link in the notes or the video description below this video. So it's my top toilet tips. But this is one I didn't really get to in depth. This jicking in the bladder diary is not one I really got into in depth in that video. So in the video, we talk about squeezing before you sneeze, blowing before you go, don't hover, and don't push to pee. So those are some real important things that we talk about. But again, this jicking is important too. There's a lot to think about when it comes to your bladder health. It can probably seem a little overwhelming, but just take it slow, take it one day at a time, and don't hesitate to ask me questions if you have anything that you don't understand. You can just leave the question in the comments below this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will subscribe to my channel for future updates and more women's health and fitness videos. And as always, remember, eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter. See you next time.